Good morning from England. Regarding our Patriot Tommy Robinson from Luton, and also to a degree Britain First, Jada Franson, Paul Golding, no one's failed to notice that they've been mercilessly targeted by Theresa May's government, the Crown Prosecution Service, the powers that be, their lapdogs, the police, and the CID, for mentioning that a certain ideology do 90% of grooming gang offences. Grooming gangs are these men. These men have been put in jail. They might be out now or what have you. They've been put in jail for systematically and deliberately carrying out sexual abuse on underage girls. Not Pakistani people like them. That would be seen as being very haram, very forbidden. No, because their ideology views itself as being it's very supremacist, basically. They are the best of people, the rightful masters of the earth. Well, two of these rightful masters of the earth, who obviously westernised, run an organisation called Quilliam, and they actually get government funding. This is for trying to de-radicalise people from this certain ideology. These people and many others, largely they fail, it has to be said, but this article really made me laugh. As you see, grooming gangs, Muslim men fail to integrate into British society. Well, that's not quite true, is it? Because most of these guys, including these pictured here, are employed as taxi drivers, pizza cooks, pizza shop owners, kebab shop owners. A few of them probably do other things, but that's primarily what they do. And even this Pakistani-based British organisation, run by two Pakistani men, did their own research on grooming gang statistics, people that had been actually found guilty and put in jail with DNA evidence and what have you, and witness statements. They're guilty as hell, all these people, and many, many hundreds like it, because this problem is all over the country. Now, anyone that dares to state this, that keeping calm and carrying on as normal won't get rid of the problem, like Tommy Robinson, like Britain First, or anyone else like me, faces getting shut down in short order. I know from personal experience about this. I witnessed grooming gangs active 23 years ago when I used to work nights, and I worked next door but one to a certain takeaway run by Kurdish people, Kurdish migrants who are illegals, most of them, and trying to get with an English girl to get a passport, but they treated the local girls horribly. I saw a few of them coming out with crying their eyes out. It was just pretty little things, 12, 14. I stood up and made it my business to get them home safe, and a couple of them I offered to be a witness. I said, if you don't go to the police, I'll go to court. I'll go to court what time I heard that door slam and the state you're in when you came out. Just I even told them my name so they could give that to the police to say, well, he saw me coming out. But, when a girl of 13, 14 finally gets home at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and has to face telling her mother what she's been doing, and the fact she isn't innocent anymore, and the fact she might be pregnant, I suppose the last thing, and being scared to death that she might not actually get out of her, I suppose the last thing on her mind right then is, should I go to the police? And bear in mind, 23 years ago, we're talking 95, whatever, this was years before Rotherham, donkey's years before even Rotherham, and it was going on then. There used to be a group in the UK called the BNP, like a right-wing organisation, anti-immigration, a bit like Britain First, a bit like Tommy. And also later on in the 80s, there was an organisation called the NF. And of course, they faced the usual things, all these Asian people and these teachers in training, the Unite union-sponsored Antifa, were throwing bricks at them and injuring them and shouting Nazi at them. When in actual fact, they were just pointing out, like Tommy, that this problem is widespread and ongoing. It's going on in every town and city of the country. At least 71 towns and cities around Great Britain, it has been confirmed in. And the police basically, like with the FGM issue, the genital mutilation issue. Please look into this. I haven't got time to go into it now, but they're doing this here as well. The police just haven't got the resources and the jail places to jail them all, so we do get some of them. I mean, the case at Leeds Crown Court where they've allegedly, well, I believe they've locked Tommy up over it, contempt of court, because none of the media want to cover it, because that wouldn't agree with this, ideology of peace. They're such wonderful people. Because if they admit what they're doing, and the fact they're dealing drugs all over the country, you know, basically, it proves their own ignorance, doesn't it? It proves that this immigration business has been a huge failure directly due to our leaders' ignorance about this certain ideology. On this Quilliam report, it's really quite funny because, in a way, ironic, I should say, not funny. These Quilliam guys actually did their own research on the conviction statistics. I've got them. There's 265 pages of names, towns, ages, conviction dates, and on Peter McLaughlin's figures and on Tommy Robinson's figures, on the court's own figures, 90% belong to a certain ideology, the same ideology all these guys belong to, because in their culture, in their ancient, somewhat warlike culture, yes, they can do this. It allows them to attack, rob, even kill non-members of this ideology. But on their own figures, here we are, researchers from Quilliam who analysed 264 conviction of grooming gang members since 2005, expected to find Asians had been unfairly singled out. However, they discovered that 222 of those convicted, or 84%, yes, 8.5 out of 10, were men of Asian origin. Only 22 were black and 18 were white, with 2 offenders not having an identified ethnicity. So that's 8.5 out of 10 guys, on their own statistics, belong to a certain ideology. So, and this is ex-members of this ideology, members of the same racial group, not white, lily-skinned, you know, flag-waving, allegedly racist white people. This is men from the same community as these, who probably go to the same mosques, or used to. So there we go. On their own figures, 84% of convicted grooming gang members were of Asian and extraction and belonged to a certain ideology. Though in Tommy Robinson and Peter McLaughlin's figures, it was slightly higher at 91%. So there you go. I've actually got the list of figures. I could put them underneath, but that would just mean the video gets took off quicker. And of course, if you put any videos on about like the Manchester bombing, the 3 or 4 guys that were arrested the other day for possession of explosives, the stabbings, the drug dealings by these people all over the country, this grooming and drug dealing by these people has been rife, endemic in London and Luton for years. This is what set Tommy Robinson off on his plight, on his quest to get this truth out, because his 13-year-old cousin, second cousin, was attacked in Bury Park by these very people, kebab men, takeaway men and taxi drivers, at 13 years of age. Have a look at the Oxford Union address, it tells you all about it, if they haven't had that one took off as well. Have a good one, guys. It is going on all over the country, despite what Theresa May and the cops want to try and tell us, and the media and the BBC. It doesn't affect their girls, or rarely affects their girls. It doesn't affect their 100 grand a year income. You know, they still live in a lovely area. They don't have to live near these people, do they? It's us ordinary working class guys whose girls are attacking, who people are stabbing, they're selling drugs to. See you guys.